Well, like everything else this year, the CVS Health Charity Classic will look a little different. No tournament event in person. But as always, CVS Health strives to give back to the community. So this year, they're going virtual.
This month, you'll be able to lend your support to the Charity Classic's long tradition of giving back, including donation opportunities, an exciting silent auction, and a unique Crave RI celebration recognizing the strength of our culinary community.
Hello, I'm Will Gilbert.
And I'm Michaela Johnson. And while the Classic may not look like what we're used to, there are still plenty of ways for fans to take part in this year's virtual event. I caught up with CVS Health CEO Larry Merlo to learn more. So Larry, the Charity Classic is looking a little different this year, but one thing that has remained the same is, of course, the mission.
Yeah, Michaela, it's a great question. And look, the CVS Health Charity Classic, it really has become Rhode Island's premier charitable event, and I couldn't be prouder of the Charity Classic team in terms of the work that they do every year to bring new things, make it fun for everyone. And you're right, 2020 has been, some people describe it as unique, and it's certainly been challenging for us all. And we've had to adapt, and the Charity Classic team's done a great job of adapting, ensuring the health and safety of our communities, but going virtual for the first time ever.
Yeah, but you still are making it easy for fans of the Classic and even volunteers to take part.
Well, Michaela, the whole mission and purpose of the Charity Classic is to give back to the communities. That's what hasn't changed about the mission and the evolution of the Charity Classic. You think back, it's 1999 was the very first CVS Charity Classic, and all of us couldn't be prouder of the fact that over more than 20 years we've actually been able to donate more than $23 million to our nonprofit partners who are doing wonderful things in our community to help those less fortunate across southern New England. And you think about everything that we're dealing with and the impact that COVID-19 is having on communities, and their work is more important than ever. So we're happy to keep things going in a slightly different way to enable their mission.
Yeah, we're happy to see that fall in our calendar, though, because it puts a little normalcy. An event like yours that we always look forward to, it's back. I know things are looking a little different, but it is just one of the many ways that CVS Health gives back to the community, right?
Well, Michaela, you're right. And I remember back in the June time frame when we're looking at the calendar, and we all missed the reality of not being able to get together this time. I got some text messages from some of the professional golfers. Billy Horschel sent me a text saying, hey, thinking of you guys, hope everybody is safe and healthy, and hoping to be back next year. And I know our sponsors, the fans, the volunteers, and certainly our CVS Health colleagues, we missed being able to get together, but there's other ways that we can support the wonderful work of the nonprofit partners. And by the way, we're already planning for 2021. Fingers crossed that we can get back together like the days of old, and go to the CVS Health Charity Classic website. You can donate directly, or you can bid on one of the fabulous auction items that we have, and every one of those dollars supports the wonderful work of our nonprofit partners.
So as Larry just mentioned, community members will have access to virtually bid on over 50 exclusive auction items, including foursomes at some of Rhode Island's most pristine private courses, at-home virtual cooking and wine tasting experiences, and sports memorabilia from top athletes, including past celebrity Pro-Am participant Tim Wakefield. And even though there will be no in-person Crave event this year, the community will come together for a 7-day celebration where local restaurants such as Matunic Oyster Bar and Diego's will offer featured menu items for dine-in or takeout. Plus, Rhode Island brands like Granny Squibs and the Backyard Food Company will offer online Crave RI discounts for our community.
Now, a lot of ways to take part and to donate, and of course, the money raised virtually this year will go to local charities here in Rhode Island. Now, we had a chance to visit a few to learn more about them and see how they're doing amidst the pandemic. We started with Children's Friend.
Here at Children's Friend, we really work with the youngest and the most vulnerable children in our state. So for us, we define vulnerability in 3 different ways. We work with children who are in foster care, so they lack permanency in their life. They might be waiting an adoption, be in a foster home, a kinship home. We work with children who are victims of abuse and neglect, so they might be, involved with the child welfare system, our DCYF system. But the vast majority of the children that we work with at Children's Friend are children who are living under the federal poverty level.
Children's Friend works with thousands of kids across the state, and the pandemic has added extra challenges to their workload.
This pandemic has obviously been a challenge for everyone around the world, everyone here in Rhode Island. Certainly the families that we work with who are the most vulnerable, they're living at the poverty level. They have very little safety net to begin with.
Over the past few months, many kids have depended on Children's Friend for their daily meals.
We realized very early on that so many families were struggling with food insecurity, with the loss of jobs and waiting for unemployment or perhaps not qualifying and not getting other government benefits. We really had to step in.
Children's Friend would not be able to do the work without the support of CVS.
CVS is a great partner with ours here at Children's Friend, as they are to so many organizations in our community overall. We've been a partner with the Charity Classic for many years. The grants and the support that they are able to give us, it helps us in so many different ways, specifically in our family support programs. So really being out in the community, based in the community, and working to support families, in their community on the struggles that are happening on different neighborhoods and things like that. CVS is great like that. We get government funding to run Head Start classrooms. So having a teacher in the classroom, we get paid by the government to do that. But when that child is going home to a family that has no food and is not eating, unfortunately, we don't have funding to do that. And that's where partners like CVS are so needed and so necessary and are so vital to our work. We could not do our work without partners like that.
Much more still ahead. We take a closer look at more of the local charities in need of our support.
We'll check in with our friends at Special Olympics and make a visit to Crossroads, Rhode Island.
Welcome back to the CVS Health Charity Classic virtual giving show. With no in-person events this year, all donation efforts are going online.
That's right, and that means our local charities need support now more than ever. Brendan Kirby caught up with Special Olympics Rhode Island.
Throughout the decades, the positive mission of Special Olympics Rhode Island has continued on forward.
Now in our 52nd year of providing services to those with intellectual disabilities, 4,000 athletes from throughout the state of Rhode Island, and we provide year-round athletic training and competition. And I want to emphasize year-round. Some people think we just do summer games. Not so. We're very, very visible in our community.
During the current pandemic, they've had to adapt for these difficult times.
Many of our athletes confused, uncertain, not sure what's going on around them. And it's up to us to be a conduit for information and getting them information about the pandemic and how they can rally through it. And so our mission has changed somewhat. Instead of providing athletic opportunities, we're more of a support system right now. Our athletes are so anxious to return to play, and we are too. If there's one thing I can say about the pandemic, I miss seeing our athletes. I miss that interaction.
Giving now is essential. Your donations will mean so much to their great athletes.
No athlete pays to participate. That's why it is so necessary for the support of people throughout Rhode Island, companies, foundations, individuals, to support this great organization so we don't have to charge our athletes.
Their connection to CVS Health and the CVS Charity Classic is strong.
We call on CVS quite often for their help, and they've never said no. When we started our capital campaign, the only capital campaign we had 11 years ago, they came to the plate first to offer a donation so that we could build our headquarters. And every year, the CVS Health Charity Classic has been a strong supporter of Special Olympics, and that allows us the opportunity to provide these year-round athletic events. So they have been a very, very strong partner of ours, a good partner of ours, and someone we know that we can rely on for their support today, tomorrow, and in the future.
And they really are such great people. Now, we know these organizations always need support, but particularly this year, it's interesting to see how they are all adapting to the pandemic and still helping community members that are in need.
Yeah, and we've been able to visit them at their summer games as well. Now, another one of CVS Health's longtime charity partners is Crossroads, Rhode Island.
The mission of Crossroads, Rhode Island is to help individuals and families who are experiencing homelessness secure stable homes.
And while their mission has remained the same, this year has presented them with new challenges.
We've certainly had an increase in the amount of people coming to us for assistance during this time, whether it's rental assistance to help them pay their rent, calls with concerns that they will end up homeless or are in the process of being evicted.
There isn't one description or definition of homelessness. And with the addition of a pandemic, Karen says it could be anyone reaching out for help.
People are living paycheck to paycheck, very thin safety net. One catastrophic event, like losing your job due to a pandemic, could end up you're homeless and you're in a shelter and you've exhausted all of your resources, and that's when Crossroads comes in.
But they're relying on the community's support now more than ever.
From domestic violence shelter to family shelters to shelters for individual men and women or couples, getting people the support they need to get into their apartments, the education and employment to help them either secure a new job or to get a better paying job so that they can become independent and pay their own rent in the future.
Donations not only assist in shelter operations, but food and furnishings in new apartments to help those in need get back on their feet. For decades, individuals and families have benefited from the generosity of the CVS Health Charity Classic.
Every year they come to us and they want to support the organization. They want to support what we're doing for the most vulnerable in our community, and they work with us to make sure that whatever proceeds from the Charity Classic are going towards where help is needed the most.
A relationship Karen and Crossroads are thankful for.
We've been working with CVS and the Charity Classic for well over 20 years. It looks a little bit different this year. Unfortunately, we won't be handing out uniforms to all the volunteers, but they're doing what they need to do. They're shifting their strategy and they're still supporting us.
Pandemic or not, their generosity is right on par.
Still to come, we are catching up with tournament co-hosts Brad Faxon, Billy Andrade to hear more about how everyone is adjusting this year and plans already in the works for next year's CVS Health Charity Classic.
Can you believe it? Last summer, for a third year in a row, the trio of Billy Andrade, Keegan Bradley, and Brooke Henderson took the win again at the CVS Health Charity Classic. We caught up with the team right after that win last year.
I thought it was fantastic. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you see a three-bridge day. Keegan said on the practice range he hasn't been here where the wind wasn't just whipping.
These guys carried me today. But it's just, I don't know. We're like Billy said, we're just a good team. We have fun out there.
And as you know, at the end of the year, we give away a lot of money, and a lot of charities benefit from this, and that's what it's all about.
Honestly, it's just a huge honor just for me to be here, to be able to help Billy and Brad, and just help with all the amazing charities here in Rhode Island. I mean, you know, we are athletes, but we want to help in any way we can and give back to charity.
Well, no three-bridge days for us to see this year, but co-hosts Brad Faxon and Billy Andrade are still hard at work giving back to those local charities.
And already planning for next year, Patrick Little caught up with the pair, and he joins us now with more.
I'm joined now by tournament co-hosts Brad Faxon and Billy Andrade, who of course been putting on this awesome event since 1999, basically almost half my life, and this summer it just felt like something was missing, Brad and Billy, without the CVS Health Charity Classic, of course, going on back in June. We all know the reason why it didn't happen, but you guys want to continue this tradition virtually. Tell us about what we can expect in September with this event.
Well, sure. Patrick, I'm down here in Florida now. I know everybody's world's changed a lot since the pandemic, and I think we were so excited about being able to have the CVS Charity Classic this year, right between the U.S. Open for the men and for the seniors at Newport Country Club. And so Rhode Island would have been the perfect spot to be in June. But everybody's adapting, everybody's adjusting. Zoom has been a way of the future, and I think that's what we're going to try and do here virtually, is try and keep raising the amounts of money that we've done in the past. Over $23 million since inception in 1999. And Billy, there's a lot of kind of cool ideas that we have to raise some money, online.
Yeah, we got a virtual event week, which is going to include opportunities for fans to give back, give directly to the Charity Classic through the Donate Now option. New this year, the community members will have access to virtually bid on more than 50 exclusive items, auction items, foursomes at some of our best golf courses here in the state, virtual cooking and wine tasting experience, and sports memorabilia that we're going to get from some of the players that have played in our Charity Classic in the past, along with some of the Red Sox. Tim Wakefield's going to help us out. So we're also going to have a week-long Rhode Island Crave celebration where local restaurants will offer featured menu items for dine-in or takeout. So we're trying our best during these trying times during this pandemic. And the bottom line, Patrick, is at the end of the year, we're still going to be able to give to our nonprofits that we've been supporting, obviously, over these 23 years.
Let's look ahead to next year. It's already on the calendar, guys, for an event. Hopefully, right, if the world's back to normal, we can see live golf again in person. Talk about what you're hoping to do next June, keeping this thing going.
Well, let's hope it's back to normal. And golf's really taken the forefront of sports right now. The PGA Tour, led by Jay Monahan, the commissioner, and we want to have that excitement back to Rhode Island and Rhode Island Country Club, and getting the players that we've had there. We've had some of the top players in the world help us with the auction items that Billy talked about, and getting these big names back, especially some of the LPGA stars too.
All right, finally, guys, what have you been up to? I know Billy didn't get a haircut for about 3 months. Brad, I see you've been playing a little bit as well, helping Rory with his putting too. What's been going on with you guys?
Well, getting back out on the Champions Tour is something that was new to all of us, and we got back together at Warwick Hills in Michigan a few weeks ago. Then we spent 2 tournaments in 10 days in Branson, Missouri, and unfortunately Phil Mickelson had to show up and put on a show. But it's been very interesting to not have fans joining us. So it's been a thrill to get back out on the golf course, and I got a few weeks off before our tournament out in Pebble Beach, and looking forward to going out there.
I'm doing the same thing, Patrick. I'm down here doing a little practice and a little teaching and going out to play at Pebble as well. But we've all adjusted. I mean, Phil Mickelson turning 50 and coming out and, kind of dominating on the Champions Tour was a big deal to us. And it means a lot to the Champions Tour. And I just think for CVS to just keep doing this, the big sponsors on the tour that have stuck with us, it's a huge part about raising money for charity, and that's what really we're all about.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. Great to see both of you. Obviously, wish we could do it in person, but already looking forward to the event this fall, and then in person, hopefully, once again next June.
We're not done yet. The CVS Health Charity Classic Virtual Giving Show continues in just moments as we check in with charity partner, the Boys and Girls Club.
Welcome back. We've been visiting some of the CVS Health Charity Classic's longtime partners to get a sense of the need in our community right now.
And Brendan Kirby takes us now to Boys and Girls Clubs of Providence.
Great futures start here.
Throughout the years, the mission of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Providence has remained steadfast.
Our main goal is to help young people make it through the educational system and help them become productive citizens. And we do that by helping them understand what they're good at and providing activities that help them get to where they want to be as an adult.
Like so many, the pandemic has had a major impact on their organization, forcing them to redesign their building to accommodate and to rethink how they assist the community in a safe manner.
We worked closely with the Department of Human Services, also with the Department of Health, to make sure that when we welcome back our kids, which we did June 1st, we were ready for them and they were ready for us.
Your support and donations would mean so much, especially during these challenging times.
with all the changes that we've had to make, has tripled the cost of us providing services for children. We're also at 2/3 capacity. So it makes it very challenging, and without the foundations and corporations and individuals that back us, I don't know that we would be able to keep up with the critical services that we provide every day.
Their overall mission aligns with that of CVS Health and the Charity Classic. They work together, and that connection continues to sustain and grow.
As always, we did very well thanks to the support of the community. Foundations, corporations, businesses that through this whole pandemic have just been 100% behind us, and that is what helps us to keep moving, especially and always CVS Health. It's reassuring to know that no matter what happens in the community, they're going to stand behind us and make sure our kids have everything that they need.
And a reminder, there are several ways for fans to participate virtually this year to support these local charities. Make sure you check out the silent auction and the unique Crave Rhode Island celebration that will feature discounts from local culinary partners.
So many great things on that list as well. And CVS Health wants to thank all of their sponsors for making these virtual giving opportunities possible without being able to hold in-person events this year. You can find all the information on our website, WPRI.com.
Thanks for joining, and be sure to donate to this year's CVS Health Charity Classic virtually.
And we will see you on the Road Show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m.